G'day, g'day. Something a bit different today. So basically, I wanted to come on and see what you need help with. So I'm going to leave this thing open and I'm going to do a bit of work. And if somebody pops in and has questions, I'll answer them because I've got a lot to do, a lot of preparation. So I'm just going to sit live and leave it to you guys. So I'll keep checking there for if someone pops in to say anything. But I have a lot to do. Let's see. What was I doing? Let's build new. Yeah. Um. Okay. So I'm basically going to do my lesson prep. And if somebody has a question, they can ask a question. That way. Let's have a look here. Okay. Huh. That's not right. No. Okay. Let's log in. Okay. So basically, I'm just going to sit online for a couple of hours and see if anybody needs help. Nice. Shared in between. How do I do that? Let me change the name of it. So what was it called? I believe. No, okay. Uh-huh. Okay. I like that name. Okay. Now, what was I going to do today? So at the moment, I'll give you a rundown of what I'm doing. I'm kind of, I've discovered this thing called school, and I'd like to put it all together. So I need to do that, and I figured that's going to be more. Well, okay. So essentially, I I don't really know how all of the YouTubing works, but I've been told that what I should do is sit around and wait for somebody who needs help. So I'm going to do that today, and I might get bored and give you a bit of a rundown. So let's have a look. See. What was the other thing I wanted to do? I forgot. Okay, I'm going to build my little community. And if somebody turns up, we'll talk to them. Okay. High distinction squad. I think that sounds good. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Too long. Okay, let's make this description. Okay. Make a new one. Wow. This is odd because I'm basically just sitting online and waiting for stuff. Well, not waiting for stuff. Basically, I'm doing work whilst, yeah, I figured I could sit around and figure out my work, and then if somebody has a question, you can ask. So if I sit around for a couple of hours just doing my work, then I guess it's a win either way. But I mean, most ideally, someone would want to say hi, so I'll leave it on there, and if someone does turn up, then I'll help out. Okay, so what do I need? What was I doing? I need description. So high distinction SS squad. Okay. Mm, let's get some. Let's get some inspiration for our AI friends. What description letter should I have? Okay. They give me some ideas for description. For the following. What am I doing? Let's see. So that was. I quite like that high distinction SS squad. I feel like that's got a nice ring to it. What have I done? What have I done? Wrong button. Wrong button. Okay. Let's see. It's a very generic question to this thing, so I don't know if it's going to be a very good response. Ah, jeez. Okay. Geez, okay. Let's see. What examples do they give me? So academic excellence, high distinction essay squad is a community for students who want to turn solid essays into high distinction works, share drafts, get focused feedback, and learn the exact strategies. Yeah, nah. Okay. Oh, this is lame. This is terrible writing. Because I mean, look, ultimately, what I'd want to do is have a space where you kind of help each other out. Because what I find that students need the most is, like when they help each other out, like it's like they develop together, and that was what I wanted to have. It's just a space where you can go, all right, well, let's build our things. Because I mean, look, my challenge in my life is I am not. I'm very perfectionist, so I kind of am like not happy unless I'm getting very good results for something, whether that's in work or with my, I guess, my university stuff. Like I was not like I'd get angry if, well, that's the wrong word. I'd get sad if I didn't get a high distinction in a particular like assessment. So if it wasn't a HD, I'm like, no, this is not right. Something's off. So I figured there are people like me who are very highly motivated to do well, and so I thought let's try and get a community together doing that. So let's see. Oh shit! I put a plug in my computer. I forgot to plug it in. This may be problematic. Exists for one reason, to help you write essays and top marks again and again. Yeah, expect practical templates, 2 examples and community that holds you accountable to your academic. Oh, yes, that's about right. That sounds, yeah, I'm very, that's how it goes. Okay. Oh, the description's too long. This is the challenge with AI, is that you put in a description, like you'll be like, oh, you make it for this community, and then it doesn't do the thing, like, like why give me the incorrect characters? Okay, let's have a think about it. Okay. All right. I don't need to say my title again. That seems redundant, though. Okay. How about? Okay. Hmm. Okay. Learn how to. Let's see. Does it want to be the best? Okay. Trying to find out how to earn top marks again and again. I quite like the way it said that, because that, it's like join to find out how. I've kind of rewrote this, but join to find out how to earn top marks again and again. The original was to help you write essays that earn top marks again. It was like, I like the again and again, but it doesn't have the pizzazz or the impact. There we go. I'm loving the irony that I'm, getting assistance from AI to write this, because it's something I could do on my own, but it's way more fun taking the easy road. Okay, so I want to be the best. I guess like the main thing is we are lazy now, and we're always lazy, and also you want to find how to get the maximum impact with the least amount of words. That's always the thing that I try to say for essays. Because like people think they need to fluff, whereas really you want to say as little as you can, that has the most impact. And it's happened again. My camera overheats, and then it stops working. So what I've done is I've turned on the fan so that it cools down a little bit. So it might come back soon. Okay, so in the interim, I want to be the best. Join to find out how to earn top marks again and again. Okay, so high distinction S squad. Yeah, I quite like that. So, and I quite like this. Yeah, it's like we'll put in practical templates. Yeah, okay, that stuff I liked, and I like that it says stay accountable. That is something I definitely value. Definitely value. Get that shorter here. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm almost there. Almost there. Um, hmm. All right, I've got it under 150 now. Let's see how we feel about this. So join to find out how to earn top marks again and again, get templates, examples, and a community that holds you accountable to your academic goals. Not bad. I think that kind of works. Okay. So we'll do that. Okay, so I'm kind of building and building. So that kind of works. What was I thinking? Yeah, I can kind of, what I could do as well is I could have a look at how, other learning. Actually, yeah, let's learn some actual English today, because I'm kind of taking the mickey by not helping you guys out. Why is the camera not working? I don't understand. It went dark. Give me a second. Let me get this thing working. Camera, mate, what's wrong with you? Hold on, let me look for the button. Try again. Oh god, how annoying. That's the annoying thing about using the phone as a camera, because it overheats and then it just stops working. And now I don't know how to get it running again. So the technology strikes again. I think this is probably not going to work. May need to just use the webcam. Yeah. Hi. Great. So what I'll do, I'll move this one over to the other page. So if somebody pops in and asks questions, I'll be around. Okay, that's good. And what I'll do is I'll put this one on here so that we can go to. I wonder if there's a way I can put it on the YouTube and make it like a full screen. Let's see if we can do that. Yeah, let's go. Let's see what English classes are. Actually, let's go English writing skills improvement. Let's see what people have online. What I'll do, I'll share that on screen so we can check it out together. What the fudge is that? There we go. Okay. Is it working yet? I wonder if the camera thing could work. It's really doing my head in. Like really frustrating. It's like I just want this thing to work. Good one. Okay. Let me try it again because I don't know how to fix this and it is annoying. Yeah, see, when I put my head forward, I'm no longer on there. Okay, let's try the other one. Let's see if it works. No. 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 There. Yeah, still thinking. Still thinking. Let's see if it works. Wow, it's infuriating. Infuriating. Because the problem is like the one up top, it's not it's high quality, except this one always loves to overheat consistently. So I don't know. I'm sorry, like I don't have the tech like down pat yet because it's very frustrating. Okay, let me just send this. Yeah, it's still not running. Still not running. We have a live tech failure. It's quite live. Let me share my screen so you can at least you can enjoy the viewing of this. No, bugger it. Let's okay. Let's. I give up on that camera. I'm using the other one. It's so infuriating because, like, sometimes it just works fine, and then sometimes it doesn't. This is. Oh, okay. Let's see what people are doing. Could be writing in 1 hour. I don't have time for that. How's this? Here's how to improve your English writing skills without studying grammar. Okay, let's see. Let's see what he says. Okay. I think you probably can't see that. And I think you can't hear this either. Therefore, let me change the audio output. And I'm going to go to the speakers. License. Okay. Let's see if this works now. Okay, so he's basically saying if you make errors, let's make it bigger. Okay. I just realized something. You probably can't hear this because it's coming out of my my speakers in my computer. Okay, give me a second. I'm going to change that one. It's like, it's infuriating. So he's basically saying, like, people don't understand your writing.
But it can be a problem in some situations.
There we go.
Like when you're trying to write a resume, taking an English exam, or sending an email to your boss at work.
Okay, this is fluff. I don't need this. Give me the details. Wait, let's see what he says. Okay, let's see what he says.
Going to practice my writing with this article. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the first sentence and make sure that I understand everything. If there's a word or phrase I don't know, I'll look it up. So let's say I don't know what this phrase means.
Okay. Now, I would probably argue not to do that, because what you do is you actually shoot yourself in the foot. If you are looking up a word or a phrase every single time, you're hurting the way that you learn, because you're going to be a slow learner. So fundamentally, you look for context around the thing that you're looking at. Okay, let's see. All right, so I disagree with that section. Let's play a little bit more.
I can go to Google and type in that phrase.
Oh, geez. I mean, yes, we know.
All right, so line of work means the activity in your life that you do to earn money. So it basically means a job or an occupation. Okay, now that I understand the whole sentence, I'm going to take a moment to memorize it. Then I'll switch to this text editor and I will write down the sentence from memory.
Okay. This is actually a good idea. What he's suggesting is to write from memory, because that's going to help. I mean, as much as, I don't like that they were trying to, I guess, depending on the level. Like if you're newer to your writing, if your level's lower, then what he explained is fine. If you have a higher level, you're going to not help yourself. Okay.
Hobbies let you. Now, if I can't remember some of the words in the sentence, I'll just make a guess, or I might use other words with similar meanings. My interest outside. Okay, next, I'm going to compare what I wrote with the original.
Let's have a look. Okay, so hobbies let you find interest outside your limits. So that's good, because what he's done, see how he broke down the first sentence? That first sentence is the key meaning. And he's just understanding the gist of it, the general idea of the sentence, which is, I mean, that's good. Okay, let's keep looking.
To see if I made any mistakes. And if I did, I will correct them.
Okay.
Okay, after I fix my mistakes, I'll write the sentence one more time without making the same mistakes. So I'm going to delete this and do it one more time. And that's it. After I'm done with the first sentence, I'll repeat the same steps with the next sentence.
Okay.
So step 1, I read and memorize the sentence.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is at a very basic level, which, I mean, look, if you're at that level, that's fine. But ultimately, I'd be more interested in a more, like, let's see, did we see any? Let's go to this one, because Eng fluent. All right. I mean, look, they make some good ideas. Okay. But let's have a look, see what else we got. Because I want, I mean, fundamentally, I'm thinking of like stuff that's going to help with writing, because we want because it's the stuff that I generally look. I want to see who's going. Oh, he seems like he knows what he's talking about. Let's see what this bloke says. So learn English with Harry. All right, let's see if Harry's got an idea. Harry seems all right.
Hi there, this is Harry, and welcome back to Advanced English Lessons with Harry, where we try to help you to get a better understanding of how to use English in a better way, whether it's in conversational English, business English, use of phrasal verbs, adjectives, whatever it happens to be, we're here to help you. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. Quite a few of you have been asking recently about how can they improve their writing skills. As I always tell students, speaking and writing skills are very, very different, two very different skill sets altogether. When you're speaking, it's of course important to be correct and polite, but often when we speak something, it's forgotten about quite quickly. Unfortunately, when we write something, it's there on record, particularly if we're using email or some other form of text. It's there for people to see, and they can read it several times, and therefore mistakes become a little bit more obvious, and we have to be really, really careful. And we also have to be really careful how we write, so we might be misinterpreted. Of course, we can be misinterpreted when we speak, but again, when it's written down, it's a little bit more in your line of view, and people can comment and remark on it. So there are different skills needed. When we're speaking to people, we're often speaking to our friends and colleagues, and making little mistakes is not really so important as long as we are fluent. When we're writing, it can be a formal report, it can be a letter for a job interview, whatever it happens to be, we really have to be more accurate. We have to be accurate with our spelling, punctuation, but we also have to be careful with the sort of words that we use.
That's a really important point. I think he makes some really so this is I would put him as quite a good teacher, because it changes so significantly when you are going into writing, especially academic writing. It changes a big way. Like the thing that newer learners will often say is they'll say people do something, whereas you wouldn't write that in an academic essay. So it's knowing what language is allowed and what language is not allowed. That's cool. Okay. Let's see what else he says. I like what's coming up next. I think he's talking about Grammarly. I'm interested to find out what he's going to say.
Now, there are lots and lots of platforms available, apps to help you. I mean, two of them would be just Google Translate and Grammarly. Lots of you use them, I know that, and they can be very useful at times, but be really, really careful, okay? Because particularly with Google Translates, it will give you a literal translation. And with English, there are so many different words you can use. And if you've been watching and listening to my particular lessons over the last wee while, you'll begin to understand that there are lots of synonyms for different words, but not all of them can be used in substitution. So you have to be really careful with literal translations, because they can look a little bit silly, a little strange, not what you perhaps intended when you use it, okay? With Grammarly, usually it's correct, but I have noticed, because I use it just to check it with my students, that from time to time, it can actually throw up the wrong answer. There may be little twists and variations that you can have, and unless you're a native speaker, you won't know what they are. So again, just be careful if you use Grammarly. So my recommendation is not to use either of them, to struggle on at the beginning. If you make mistakes, okay, you make mistakes, but when you get corrected by somebody, a professional teacher, well, then you're more likely to remember rather than relying on Grammarly or Google Translates. Okay, so
I would 100% agree with what he's saying, because when students use Google Translate or Grammarly, initially their writing sounds fantastic, but when I speak to these students, it's very clear that they don't actually understand. Actually, let me swap screens. I just realized I'm talking and he's on screen. How do I de-screen him? There. Ah, there we go. Now it's still in my head, and I've got the thing. Oh, it really is annoying. Like, oh, can we just really get this thing working? It's killing me. No, just looks like it's still not working. Okay. Okay, now it's definitely not working. Maybe if I use the front camera, I don't know. I don't know. It's doing my head in. Like massively. Because it's so frustrating. You know, like, oh man. Okay, we'll go back to our other theme because this is not working. So my apologies for the tech, because it sucks. It's so distracting to try and get anything working when this stuff's not working. Oh man, okay. Yeah, so my head's back on there. All right. I forgot what I was talking about. Okay. Well, there's our mate. I guess, okay, he can talk down below and I'll stick on screen so you can at least, yeah, then I can respond that way. Because I realize I sound like I'm talking to some, yeah. Off. Okay. So, well, yeah. So Google Translate, etc. Okay. And also, look, I usually am quite structured, but I wanted to just like leave this up to you guys. Like I want to find exactly what people need. You know, so I am really looking forward to people asking questions. So, okay, don't use Grammarly, don't use Google Translate. Okay, let's see what else our friend has to say.
I've got a 10-point plan here that will
Ooh.
improve your writing. It will help you to improve your writing beyond what you have expected. It takes time, but a lot of the students that I help, and I have a specific course that I do with them, that after a few weeks and a few exercises that I give them, you'd be surprised, really, really surprised how quickly their written skills and the writing they do can improve, and quite dramatically. So, number one, start with short and simple sentences. I mean, this sounds really, really school type approach, but it really does work. Lots of people come to me and they want to write really complex sentences, or when they do send me a sentence, there's no full stop, there's no ending to it. It goes on.
I'll show you on screen.
And the problem with that is if you don't have a proper control on those sentences, you lose control of it, you lose the point that you're trying to say, and there'll be many, many more grammar mistakes than you had intended. So at the very beginning, until you get a little bit more professional in your writing, start with short and simple sentences, a short, simple structure, okay? And then you can build up, and then when you build up, you'll see where you can make improvements and where you can make it a little bit more complex, but start with short, simple. And I have this KISS. Keep it short and simple. Keep it short and simple. KISS.
That is not how that acronym goes, but I like how he. Oh wait, no, is this the original acronym? I have to look this up because mine was a little bit ruder. Okay. It was. Okay, he's basically cleaned it up to sound nicer. But I actually kind of like this one. So keep it short and simple because that is that's a simple way to improve your writing significantly. So solid. I like that. Okay. So that's good.
A general rule of thumb that I use, if you want to state some facts, give some facts, then use short sentences. sentences. You know, if you're giving data, use short sentences. If you want to describe something like the cow in the field or the dog in the park, you can use longer sentences because you're going to use a lot more adjectives to describe what you see. The long green shoots of new spring grass, okay, or the short-legged barking dog, you know, whatever it might be, you've got to use a lot more descriptive words, and therefore with those type of descriptions you can afford to use longer sentences. But when you're using facts, the population of the country is 1.5 million, full stop. There are 50% of the population employed and 30% of the population under the age of 80, full stop. Short, simple sentences, facts. Okay, moving on to point number 2. Focus on getting your sentences correct and brush up on your grammar. So really, really important at a very early stage to eliminate grammar mistakes. If you eliminate the grammar mistakes, then you can move on and start building those complex sentences that we spoke about. You can start adding adjectives. But if you've got a lot of grammar mistakes, like the wrong preposition, not using the articles, or using the wrong tense, then, you know, no matter how far you go, your English, written English, will always be poor. So we want to eliminate those mistakes at a very early stage. So focus on getting the correct grammar in all of your sentences.
That's funny, because he did say that not to use Grammarly, and then he says, but also. But it's like easier said than done, right? But the thing is, okay, that's one of the reasons why I'm creating this little community, is because it's a place where you can just stop and ask someone a question and say, oh, I'm having this issue. You know, like you can go into the community and just ask these questions whenever you need to. So that is better. Like asking a friend, you know, asking like your community to guide you is much better than using a tool like Grammarly, because that's going to make you engage with people and then actually think and figure out what's going on. So that will help you improve your grammar fairly quickly, because you'll be amazed at what you can see people achieve. I mean, I'm always incredibly amazed when I see what my students can do. Like I'm talking like within a matter of weeks, like within, most commonly, I would say a 5-week period, I watch people go from being very basic English, many grammar mistakes, to being quite confident and doing it well. So yeah, so don't shy away from giving it a go, because you can do a lot. Okay. Should we see what else he has to say? Yeah. I think hopefully he's interesting. Because, okay, what I'll do is, okay, I'll give you this guy, and so I kind of like this reaction type of thing. It's pretty helpful while I wait for people to turn up. No, not yet. All right, because I've heard it can take a while for people to find these lives happening. So essentially my go-to is going to be, I'm going to sit on these for hours upon hours, and then do my other work whilst I wait for people to ask questions. So, because I am, I reckon I'll figure it out. Figure it out eventually. Consistency is key. Okay, let's see what our mate was saying, because he had some good points. I think I have a high opinion of this teacher immediately, because I can see what he's teaching and the quality of what he's saying and why it's good. Like I understand that. So hopefully you guys are seeing it.
Make sure if you're going to use the present perfect, that it's the right tense to use. If you're using the present continuous, it's the right tense to use. So, as I said before, you get away with it when you're speaking, you won't get away with it when you're writing. Number 3, read as much and as often as you can.
I like that point. I'll make that bigger just for the moment. So you're saying read as much and as often as you can. That's going to help you understand how sentences look. So yeah, so like you're saying, help you understand. I'll play it when it's large because this is quite a useful point.
Apart from enjoyment, you'll see and understand the structure of sentences. You'll see and understand the difference between a sentence in the written format and a sentence in the spoken format. Okay, you'll get to understand how people vary how you begin a sentence to change the way it's written to make it more enjoyable for the reader, to make it more interesting to write, and to avoid repetition. So read as much and as often as you can. Of course, books in English, if you're writing in English, so to see how authors do it. But don't read classic books so much. I mean, they're really beautiful books by Charles Dickens or Bronte or whoever it might be that you've got an interest in. By all means, read them. But remember that you're writing now in the 21st century, so the books you should be reading if you want to improve on your written skills should be those books that were also written in the 20th and 21st centuries, because it's really show you modern English, modern conversational English, how we use reported speech and other aspects. And it's really, really important to read, to look at, and to learn. Okay. What you can also do, point number 4, is to...
Oh, okay. We'll worry about that later. Let's go back a little bit. There we go. Because I kind of want to talk about this a bit, because yeah, that's something that's it's obviously beneficial, but yeah, see, I was saying read books that are written in the 20th and 21st century. So that means modern books, because so when you read older books, it's good, but also it is challenging. I wonder why he's saying just that, because I feel like you do get a bit of benefit from reading the older ones, but I would say that depends on your level. So if you're fairly, if your English level is a bit higher, you would really benefit from the older literature. But I would say when we're newer to the language, then perhaps not. Okay. All right, and there was that third point. Keep a diary. I mean, that's good fun. So you can write in a diary. Okay, that seems pretty good. Let's have a look. What's he have to say about it?
Keep a diary. Okay, now the diary is really important, and this will help you to write short stories in English. So if you keep a diary, you get used to writing. So it might be a diary, just a few sentences about what you do every day, or it might be a diary about what you see every day, but it's a great way to practice. Now, it might be handwritten diary, but of course you can use modern technology and you can record it as a Word document. So it makes life a little bit easier, but it's just something that you can refer back to and something you can use when you want to write short stories.
Now, the point I'll make about the keeping a diary is if you if you write on your phone or on a Word document on your computer, potentially what's going to happen is it's easy to get distracted. So you could be looking on your machinery, and then within a few minutes you're thinking about something else, or you're doing something else. It's like my challenge is anytime I open YouTube and I need to do actual work, I'll, if I'm on that home screen, I'm like, oh, what's that interesting thing now? So it's very easy to get distracted. So something to be just a bit aware of. But ultimately, okay, yeah, it's easy to get distracted. But there's something good about being able to, because the thing is, if you write it in a diary, you have to carry it with you everywhere you go. Sorry, I forgot my diary at home, so I'm not going to write. So specifically, I mean, look, some of you might carry a diary everywhere, but I mean, you may not have the space to be able to do that. So I would say a really great thing to do is to, if you can, write on something digital, but it is tactile, so it's a good experience, and I think it kind of it flows in more, and you take it on more if you do write them physically. So checking the thing over here now. Let me move it over here because I need to be able to tell when people come in. Okay. All right, let's have a look. See. But so far, I feel like this. Yeah, 5 stars to this guy because he's a bloody good teacher, and it looks like he's just doing this on his own. So pretty good.
It you can refer back to, and something you can use when you want to write short stories. So you should always try and keep a notepad handy when you're reading a book or you're looking at the internet, because you might want to write down or to capture really interesting sentences in a book that you hadn't heard of, or a group of words or a collocation that you've seen that the author has used that might be quite interesting for you. So you can record that, write it down, and you can use it on later on. Okay, and this is called sentence mining. Okay, so to sentence mine is to find interesting collocations, find interesting groups of words, find interesting combinations and sentences that you could use to your advantage later.
Yeah, but so what if I don't know what a collocation is? I've got an answer. What if I make ChatGPT? Like, actually, no, but perplexity is a thing. Okay. Define collocations. Yes. Are natural combinations of words that frequently appear together and sound right to natives. Oh, that's so true. Such as make a mistake or heavy rain. So yeah, I mean that's very true. I mean I knew that, but okay. I want to see some examples. Damn it! My hope was that it would give examples. Okay. Okay. So make a mistake, make a decision, take a shower. Oh yeah, because you can't take it anywhere. You're like carrying the shower with you. Seems like fun. Okay. Let's look for collocations in other countries. Let's see how we understand them. Gano Volta. I'm doing a walk. And I'm doing a mistake. So Gano, okay, all right, interesting. I guess that's pretty fun. And what about let's see the problems I won't be able to pronounce this. Chihuahua. To go abroad. And to go bankrupt. Is it Bochan? I don't know how my pronunciation is. Oh, that's a hard one. Trying to pronounce this is making me Shenkui. Shenki? I need to find out how to say that. Okay. Here we go. Give me the phonetic sound. Man, I want to sound it. There we go.
生气，
Okay. 生气.
生气，
Okay. That's pretty good. So that's the fun one. Okay. Back to our friend. All right, so collocations are a fun thing to do. Well, just regular phrases that people do. My favorite Greek phrase is a vlima. So let's go. Okay. What is a vlima? What does the word vlima mean in Greek? I hope it translates correctly. Yep, there we go. There we go. Okay. This was a very offensive thing that someone called me one day. And I didn't know that he was being offensive because I'm not from around there. Okay. So literal meaning, it's a projectile. So something thrown or fired. So basically, its meaning. So this is not even accurate. Literally, it's so if a shotgun gets shot, it splatters. So okay, colloquial meaning. So it's saying a person is an airhead. Okay, so an empty head. I wonder if that's correct. I need to look at the translation because I've always understood it like a shotgun that's been sprayed, but like a splattered bullet, but actually it's a hollow shell. I wonder if that's correct. Let me check the sources. Let's find out. Okay, I'm gonna go. What's Wiktionary? All right, let's find out. Okay, so Vlima, yes. Okay, let's try Google Translate. Okay, translate. So it is projectile. Shell. That's where I got the word from. Shell. Okay. Yeah, but I want like because I've always understood it as like it's like a shotgun. Because that's why we say airhead. It's incredible how language does that to us. It's so it's challenging to figure. Okay, that's good. Have we got okay, not yet. All right. Let's go back to our friend. Because I'm kind of I'm cheating a little bit. So as you guys are listening to our mate, I am working on my my other stuff. So it's two birds with one stone. What am I doing? What am I doing? This one needs to go here. There. Okay.
Let's say sentence mining. Keep that in your diary and keep it.
Oh wait. What have I done? I just realized something. Am I? Okay, I think that's okay. I think that's okay. I'm just trying to put all the screens in the right places. Let me make it bigger so that I can just show this whole guy. Okay. I think does that work? Can you see that whole screen? Let me have a look. Okay. Yeah, maybe. No. Let's come back here. Yes. So I'm trying to get the sizing correct. He can leave there. That's big enough. Yeah, he's big enough. Okay. So let's put him over here now. And then, no, he's too big now. Yeah, bugger. How can we do this? How can we do this? This is a challenge, I must say. So I'm trying to work on my little thing, but I've got too many screens and it's not easily accessible for everything. Okay, that goes here. Maybe I'll put that screen there and that screen can go elsewhere. What have I done? Oh, no, wrong screen. and this one go here. Because I don't want to be surprised and not respond to people if they plonk in. Okay, so let's see more about sentence mining.
Part where you can keep a record. Number 5, avoid translating from your native or mother tongue into English. This always causes problems. What it causes is hesitation. It also causes you to use incorrect words, and then you stop and you start and you get no fluency. So try to think in English. Okay, it might take you a little bit longer. Okay, often when we're doing written exercises with my students, I ask them, how long did it take you to write that? And if I've given them a short story to write, or an essay of a couple of hundred words, it shouldn't really take more than 25 to 30 minutes. But often it will take the early learners 40, 45, 50 minutes, 60 minutes. That's okay. Don't worry about the time it takes you at the beginning. It's much more important to get it accurate. Okay. But the more you practice to think in English, then the less time you will take to write it. So you'll start thinking and using the words. You start thinking and using the collocations. You'll start thinking and putting the correct structure on your sentences. So try to avoid thinking in your native tongue. Try to think in English. Write in English, speak in English, think in English.
Okay, that is a golden point as well. Okay, so once again, our good friend Harry is giving us some good ideas. I dare say he's got some bloody good ideas, because I'm very impressed. This is all things that I generally would tell people to help them, and it works. Yeah, but I guess he's got a couple of weeks on me, so he's slightly older. So I think he might have had some time to practice all these things, and it's definitely showing. Okay, so generally, not speaking in your own language in your head is really, really useful, because that way then you don't get you're learning things faster, and you'll learn what language people are using, and you'll learn it quick. Okay, even though it's hard initially and you make many grammatical mistakes. Like, the more you do this and the more you pressure yourself, the better you get and the faster you get at doing this. Okay, let's see the next one.
Okay, number 6. Now, here's an important point. When you're writing, particularly from a business perspective, if you're writing a proposal, or if you're writing a memo, or you're writing a position paper, whatever it happens to be aware of the audience who's going to read it. When I was a bit younger and I was writing, I would always have in mind that I'd expect the most senior person in my office, my boss or his boss, to read. And they may not, of course, but I always imagined that they would be reading it, and therefore I'd want to write the best I could possibly write. Not just to scribble down something, not just to throw a few words together, but to write something as clearly and as specific as I could be. Okay, so I would focus on the grammar. I would focus on making sure that I had the correct structure of my sentence. I would focus on avoiding repetition, because and also punctuation. My old boss really, really, really didn't like bad punctuation. So to make sure that you focus on those things, to expect that the most important person that's in your office, you expect them to read it, and that will help you to focus and produce better written papers, better written documents, better written emails. Okay. Number 7. This is important, particularly in writing. We have to be really, really careful about the language that we use. Now, I don't mean here about good and bad language and swear words. Of course, you shouldn't use them, particularly in a written format. But the register, okay, whether we're talking about formal or informal, really, really important. Okay.
That's important that you said that. So the register of the language, because so I'll put on screen just what writing register is. Okay. There we go. I want examples, damn it. Oh. There we go. Oh, hopefully they're examples. I want examples. The wrong level of formality can be very jarring for a reader, yes. Okay. Let's just get some examples. Okay. Yeah. Examples of formal and informal register. Let's have a look at this. It's giving you some examples of it. I mean, like where we use it, not the sentences. There we go. So here's a comparison between formal and informal registers. So formal, I'm writing to inform you that the application has been approved. So informal, great news, you're in. Okay, so that's that. It's basically doing that. So it's showing you some formal and informal register. Let me put the actually. I'll make it bigger for this one. Okay. So informal register for an apology. Please accept my apologies for the inconvenience. Informal, my bad. That was a hassle. A request. I would like to request an extension. Can I get a bit more time? Because this is, yeah, it's very important to understand this register. So this is golden. Okay, let's go back to our friend. So the level of formality that is required.
If we're writing a business proposal, a business paper, we should always write it in a formal way. If we're replying to a client, unless the client has asked us to be informal, then we should be more formal than informal. If we're writing emails to a colleague in the next floor, well, then, of course, we can be informal in that way. We don't have to write everything so formal. So be aware and focused on the level or lack of formality in your written papers, in your written emails, in your written letters, whatever it might be. Just be really, really conscious of that. Be conscious of how you address somebody. You know, if it's somebody you don't know the name, dear sir. If it's somebody that if you're writing a letter of complaint, then it's going to be yours faithfully at the end, not best wishes or anything like that. So really be conscious of who you're writing to, be conscious of why you're writing to them, and be conscious of whether it's going to be formal or informal, and get that right and correct structure. When we're talking about structure, point number 8 is to make sure that you do actually have a structure in mind. You know, often when people start to write, they just start writing and they have no idea who they're going to write to, why they're writing to them, and more importantly, how they're going to structure it. So think about it before you write, before you put pen to paper, before you type anything. Think about the reasons why you're writing this email. Is it a letter of complaint? So what should be the sense of it, okay? The temperature of your letter. Or you're writing a letter to congratulate somebody, so how should you write that? If you're writing an invitation, how should you write that? Okay, so really think about it. And then when you're thinking about that, what should be the tone? Is it formal, informal? Is it pleasant? Is it complaining? Are you going to be really strong? Or are there going to be soft words? How are you going to write that? So when you get that in your mind, then you can start writing. And you'll find that there'll be a much better flow of words because you'll have given it some thought. So have in mind that you're going to have an introduction. For example, if we're going to write a letter of complaint, we want to tell the person at the very beginning why we are writing to them. We are writing to you to complain about something. Okay? Then tell them what you're complaining about. Tell them why you're complaining. It didn't work when you bought it. You took it back to the shop. They wouldn't replace it. etc., etc. So set out particularly and specifically what your complaints are. And then when you come to the end, tell them specifically what you want to happen. I want this product to be replaced. I want it to be replaced immediately. I want my money back. I want whatever you want. You have to set it up and tell them, okay? And then you sign it and you may give them instruction. I would expect to get a reply within 2 days, within 3 days, by next week. Tell them exactly when you expect to get a response. So when you have that in your mind and you can picture it in your mind, it's much easier for you to set it down on paper because you can see it, okay? So don't go into something blindly. Think about it, think about the words, think about the tone, think about the tense, and then commit it to paper, okay? And then you're in a much better shape.
Okay, that's, yeah, every single point I've been very agreeing with him.
Now, when you've written something like that, particularly if it's a letter of complaint, what I would suggest is that you write it and then you walk away from it for 30 minutes. Go back to it and read it and see, are you happy with the way you've written it? Because you might have written it much too formal, or you might have written it in a much more hurtful tone than you intended, or you might have made it too harsh, okay? So what you don't want is to write something, press a button and send it without checking it, because there are bound to be mistakes in it, particularly if it's not your native language, okay? So you should really give yourself a little bit of time to check it, to read it, and then to send it, particularly if you're talking about job offers. If you're writing a covering letter for a job interview or a covering letter for a position or place in university, please don't write it and expect that they will be happy if it's full of mistakes. I wouldn't if I got it, and I doubt that the university will be happy, because they're going to assess you on your English ability, and if your written letter going into them is badly written, well, it's not going to reflect so well on you, okay? Now, point number 9 then is to perhaps take an English class, if you need one, to work on some of these points that I've mentioned. Indeed, you could do with a second pair of eyes to look at your written work, somebody that can help you, somebody can set you assignments. What I do with the students I have, I start them off, as I said, with some simple English. I get them to write sentences that will enable me to identify and point out mistakes, and then I'm able to structure how the future written lessons should go. Okay, so then when I've gone on from these simple examples, I might give them just 4 words. For example, there was a bird sitting on the wall. Then I ask them just to write a little story around that. 80 words, 100 words, and you'd be surprised the mistakes people make. You'd be surprised how they lack adjectives to describe what the bird looked like. But then we can build up. So we correct the first 6 or 7 sentences, increase or improve the adjectives we use, and then after several attempts, we have a really good descriptive passage or short story to describe the bird sitting on the wall, or the man standing beside the lamppost inside the house. Yeah, so just simple situations, but enables you to write in a professional way after a while, in a structured way after a while. You've avoided repetition. This is a really, really key problem with writing, is how much repetition there is, and the reason why
this is like a point I want to talk about so much. Okay, let me put that. Okay, yeah, just waiting on that. He's talking too much. Okay, let me just reverse a little bit so I can just have it on screen. Yeah, because so having a second pair of eyes look at your written work means that you are going to understand it from an outside perspective, and I really like that example that he gave. It's like, to improve your vocabulary, and the repetition is so commonly done from so many writers. So always look for new words, new synonyms to use in a sentence, so that you're not overdoing the same thing over and over and over again. So that's pretty golden. You can see why he emphasized that, because this guy's probably seen this a lot. So this is solid.
Problem with writing is how much repetition there is, and the reason why there is a need for repetition is the fact that the vocabulary is limited. If you don't have more adjectives or more verbs or nouns, well, of course, there's going to be repetition. And it's not your fault. It's just you need a teacher that's going to help you. Not to use change, think, persuade. You have to use other words to change, to alter, to amend, to adjust, to think, to contemplate, to mull over. Yeah? You need other words, other expressions that will help you to write in a much better, clearer, and informed way. So that's number 9. Take an English class with a recognized teacher and have another person review that work, particularly if it's a job application, if it's an application for a university course. These are really the critical times when you want your written English to be as good as it possibly can. And the final point, feel free in the lessons to make mistakes. If you don't make mistakes, you don't make anything. I'm absolutely guaranteed. Everybody who started off, certainly with me in their written English, I allow them the flexibility to just write and write. Don't worry about mistakes. Mistakes can be corrected. The problem is if you don't have any thoughts, any ideas to start with. All the issues about repetition, all the issues about unknown words, all the issues about wrong prepositions, don't worry about it. Put them down, see how you feel, and then the teacher will help you to improve that, how to squeeze out those little mistakes that you make. And you'll begin to enjoy your writing. You'll begin to see for yourself where you have repetition. You'll begin to self-correct. And those are the really key critical steps that you'll have to.
So this is absolutely the most valuable point, I would say, because oftentimes like people don't even want to write on the computer. Sorry, they don't want to write on paper because they're afraid to make mistakes. They don't want anyone else to see their mistakes, because we're embarrassed to show our mistakes. But ultimately, if you don't make mistakes, that's true. You aren't really trying if you're not making mistakes. That is a truth in every avenue in life. So fundamentally, to make lots and lots of mistakes. And you'll probably learn a bucket load more than if you didn't. This is good. I think he's nearly done.
To take when you want to improve your writing. Okay, so that's my 10-point plan, how you can improve your basic writing skills. They're not, and it isn't rocket science. A lot of it is common sense, but unless you know it, you can't do it. Okay, so you have to apply it. So have a look at the 10 points that I've made. If you need any help, if you want any suggestions, please come back to me. Really, really important, as I said, is to read as much as you can. It's great to read. They don't have to be huge books, but just to read on a frequent and regular basis. It will really help you. Okay, so I hope that this particular lesson, my 10-point plan, will help you. I look forward to reading your good English in the future. If you need anything else, please ask me. You can contact me on www.EnglishLesson by Skype. Very happy to help you. Very happy to hear from you. And as always, join me for the next lesson.
What a fun character. Okay, so I was quite impressed with that. Okay, let's have a think. What have we not covered? I want to do my work as well. Let's have a look. Look, I'll stick around. I'll wait around for a bit longer because I do want to get, I didn't realize, but you need the opportunity to be able to see a stream and go, maybe I will ask a question. So I'm literally, if I get a question that's completely left field of what I normally teach, like I'll research it and I'll find what the issue is. Let's see. Okay, before we get there, let's have a look. See. I guess the big thing I'm concerned about is having good coherence between different sentences in paragraphs, because you're probably wondering what is coherence in a paragraph. So let's look that up. I should have put a question mark there. Okay, And I mean, look, this is it goes for whoever is studying the language. Okay. So basically, it's having a clear logical flow. That's the key detail. So basically, have a clear logical flow, so the reader can follow the idea that's coming out there. So that's the key detail. Which means you have a clear topic sentence, and the other sentences relate to it. You know, so let's okay, I'm gonna say okay. I'm gonna say provide an example of a 250 words coherent 250 word paragraph, and then another incoherent 250 word paragraph. Okay. I'm hoping that was a correct terminology to use. Okay. Yeah, we understand what coherence is. Yeah, it's defining what it is in there. All right, coherence is one of the most important qualities of effective academic writing because it helps readers follow readers' ideas. We get it. Yes. Okay, information might be arranged from general to specific, from cause to effect, or from one step to two step. So easy to see how ideas go from one to the other. In addition, smooth connections between sentences guide the reader through the paragraph. So this is a key detail. See how they said in addition? That was a coherent piece of language. So yeah, transitions such as, for example, on the other hand, as a result, signal basically what came before and what's coming next. That is the key information. So it keeps it unified, which is good. And let's have a look, see, what about an incoherent one? Coherence is very important writing, but many people enjoy pizza on Friday nights because it's easy. Can you see how the idea is completely different? So coherence is very important in writing, but also pizza's good. Completely different and jarring. Some students think paragraphs should have 3 to 5 sentences, which is why social media posts often use bright colors and emojis to attract more attention from younger viewers or users. This is hilariously incoherent. And then it gives an example. Oh, geez, yeah, okay. This is a very incoherent paragraph. That's the good example. Quite a good example of how not to do things, I must say. Oh, we can even get step by step. Oh, jeez. It's so fun finding these things online. Yes, I give step by step edits to turn incoherent paragraphs to coherent. Okay, so yeah, this is, I mean, simple. To put it simply, you identify one main idea, have one controlling idea in the paragraph to maintain coherence. What am I doing? So ensure that all the sentences in the paragraph are following the main idea. Bugger. This is a bit of a worry. Yep. Definitely a worry. Wait, maybe it's not. Maybe I'm worrying about something that I shouldn't be worried about. Okay. Oh, here we go. So keep sentences that match. So see how it's like delete sentences about pizza on Friday nights. Okay. Social media, colors, emojis, public transport, bad weather, dogs versus cats. See how it's unrelated? And yeah, keep it clear, keep that topic sentence. And obviously you want to have lexical change, which is group related supporting ideas. So chains of ideas that fit together. So similar meaning ideas. Quite important. Okay. So yeah, not bad. Not a bad option. I like that. That was good. That was good. Where'd I put that? Where'd I put it? Okay. Okay. So I feel like that was pretty useful because you kind of want to have good coherence. And I feel like did we talk about planning and structure? I think we haven't talked about that yet. All right, let me think. How would I plan an essay? I mean, obviously, the first thing I'd be doing so I need an example topic. Oh, what was I talking? Oh, 1984. Let's talk about 1984. So let's assume we're writing a 1984 essay. So first things first, you would want to introduce. Yeah, probably answer the question. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let me make a question. Okay, George Orwell's 1984 explores it's like the paradoxical nature of connection. And let me put the sound back out of my head so that you don't get my dings. You don't need my dings. Okay, so George Orwell's 1984 explores the paradoxical nature of connection and its relationship to power. Okay, so what I would do is I would first want to understand, I would be thinking, okay, a paradox is something that is, like it exists, but it doesn't agree logically. So the idea doesn't agree logically. And then I would think about this question. I would say, well, George Orwell is looking at the nature of connection and its relationship to power. Okay, so connections with who? So connection with the people in power, because look, in the story, there is someone in power who he is having a problem. I mean, his challenge is Big Brother and the people in power. But then also he ends up having a love affair and a connection with a woman, Julia. Now, the challenge with that relationship is, in this fictional world, you're not supposed to have any romantic relationships, because your duty and your loyalty is to the party. Because it's always to the party, you cannot have romantic relations with the person. And so it kind of explores that sort of an idea. So fundamentally, I'd first want to think about that to break down what my ideas are, and then I might do okay. So structurally, okay. Let's see. So I'd say the desire to rebel would be the first thing I would want to explore. So, our character wants to rebel. And then perhaps To rebel against power. My second paragraph, I'd probably say, would be, yeah, how relationships, so maybe the role of power within relationships. Because fundamentally, that's one of the big things that's explored in the book is power and relationships. And then, okay, and then the role of power and some of the states and its influence on the individual. I think that's okay, because you've got this big question of, him as the just one person. He wants to rebel. He wants to say, hey, I can do whatever I want. I need to be independent. And then, it's got this other, like love affair that's interesting in itself. And then ultimately it's this question like, well, how does he behave when he comes up against, real power in his world? The power structures and the power systems. And how does he respond to it? Because, fundamentally, there is the system, Big Brother who's influencing everything. But then there are the people who are influencing everything step by step by step. And then we ask the question, the job that he was doing, was he also one of those people? And then it gets into such a convoluted mess. But yeah, if I were structuring it, this would be one way to approach it. So, but look, as you can see, this is when you think about the ideas and when you plan them, they kind of come together. Whereas ultimately, you don't just want to look up things at all times because, we can ask the AI this, but I feel like it's not going to give us anything of value. Okay, so how about how about I'm going to take that and let's just see how it answers it. Let's see how differently it answered it to what I write. This would be very interesting. Let's see if it can analyze this well, because this would be fun. Okay. Blah, blah. Okay. So George Orwell's 1984 shows that human connection is both a threat to power and paradoxically something that power seeks to capture and redirect to sustain itself. Sure. The Neville suggests that genuine relationships can undermine totalitarian control, so the party works to destroy or colonize those connections, turning love, loyalty, and even language itself into tools of domination. Yeah, basically, but it stole it from E-Notes anyway, so someone wrote that already. So, okay, let's look at the themes that it takes. Okay, it took 3 themes. Okay, first theme, connection as resistance to power. Power's attack on human relationships. So it took it from a different angle. And then the paradox of connection serving power. Okay, so it's very similar to the ideas. Language, truth, and shared reality. Cool. All right, so there's some very interesting ideas here. Okay, the relationships. So 1984 explores a paradoxical model of connection. Authentic relationships and shared truths contain the seeds of resistance, yet the same human impulse towards love, loyalty, and belonging can be captured and weaponized by totalitarian power. That's pretty interesting. Yes. So he's warning that if a regime successfully monopolizes the forms and objects of connection, love, language, memory, and community, it can turn the very things that should free individuals into the strongest change that bind. Interesting. That is his lifetime as well. If you look at the context, perhaps in audience of Orwell, That is exactly what he was saying. Okay. So that's not bad. Nice. Yeah, okay. Pretty good. I'm now going to get stuck talking about Orwell. Okay. Let's see. What are... Okay. Because I haven't got anyone here, I want to see... Actually, what are some of the common mistakes? I'm trying to think of what... Okay, so language learners, the mistakes they make are collocations. That's the big one, and the grammatical mistakes. Native speakers, I feel they don't believe in themselves. Like they essentially surrender before they've begun writing, which means that they can't. It's if you believe that you can't, that you've already lost, then you kind of have, and that's a great tragedy. Okay. I mean, I guess, yeah, so let's think about, okay, let's see what, okay. There's some common academic writing mistakes. I want to think about it. Yes, informal language, we've already fixed that problem. Collocations. This one's annoying. Contractions. Okay. I'll tell you what a contraction is. Yeah. What is a contraction? Cool. Basically, it's a shortening of something. Okay, I did explain. Okay, so here's the important one. The example I was thinking of. So you want to say do not instead of don't. If you're writing academically or in formal writing, it's very, very important to do it as full form like that. Okay. And this is a key one as well. So very vague sentences, because an academic work is always going to be specific and to the point. Like, it doesn't like to mince words. Like, it wants to say as much as it can with as few words as possible. Okay. Right. Oh. How do you use effect and effect? Let's check it out. Let's learn about how do I know when to use effect or effect. I bet you it's a simple answer. I bet you. Oh, so use effect when you need an action verb, and effect when you need a thing or result. Okay. So if you can replace the word with influence or change, you probably want effect. If you can replace it with the result or outcome, you probably want effect. That's an easy workaround. Okay. So, the ceiling fan will affect the heat of the camera. Okay. Okay, the ceiling fan will change, so will affect. Yeah, will affect the phone. Yeah, so effect. Okay, that's good. So affect. Okay. So the effect of X on Y. I don't know these A's and Y's. I wanted like actual examples. Give me actual examples. Give me examples. Give me real examples. Exclamation point. Okay. The weather might affect our plans to go camping. Yes, okay, there's one. But I want effect, okay. Tourism has had a positive effect on. How about I want to use the same sentences though. Okay, use just to give you a clearer idea. Correct context page. Okay. So basically, use the same sentences for effect and effect, but in the correct context for each. Okay, that works. So, oh yes, like okay. Well, I might have to. So the weather might affect our plans to go camping, or the weather might have a big effect on our plans to go camping. Solid. Okay, pollution in the air. Let me just okay. Hopefully you guys can still hear me when I have phone calls like that, because I'm not sure if it takes the sound off because I've got my things in my ears. Okay, so for health, let's have a look. So pollution in the air can affect your health. Pollution in the air can have a serious effect on your health. Note the differences. So pollution in the air can affect your health. Pollution in the air can have a serious effect on your health. So how much you study will affect your final grade. How much you study will have a clear effect on your final grade. So can you see affect and effect? All right, good. Okay, so we'll go back to our the common or the academic writing mistakes. Okay, so wordy, vague, or repetitive sentences that hide the main point. That's a key detail. And poor word choice, yes, so we would explain that. So grammar and sentences, so subject verb agreement errors, yes, okay. So there's a few things. Oh, I'm not having a clear thesis, that's the worst. And people often ask me, they say, how important is the introduction? And I'm like, well, it's bloody important, because if you don't have the introduction, if you don't have a clear thesis, it's not going to be a clear introduction. I mean, the whole essay is not going to be clear, put it that way. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, use sources and citations, missing citations, yes, incorrect citations, yes. Sorry, sorry about the call before, it's a work call. Okay. This is good. It gives you really simple ways to fix it. Yeah, so this is great. So you want to have a simple structure, and you want to use sources and citations. This is something I really like. Is plan a brief outline before actually writing. So each paragraph has a clear purpose. So you know exactly what you're going to write about and what you'll be discussing. Okay, and yeah, so because it's better to write a shorter essay that has more direct approach than write a longer one that's all over the shop. Okay, that's good. Yeah, so pretty good ideas in there. So yeah, we're doing. I wanted to go till the 2 hours, but I've got a call from a client now. I'm like curious to find out what she needed. I guess we're nearly at the 2 hours. Almost. I'll hang about for a little bit longer. When should we pull a pin? I mean, like maybe someone will pop in just as I pop off. I was really looking forward to answering questions because, you know, I wanted to get some. Yeah, it's like maybe okay. Maybe what I can do, I can give you. I guess like I'll make example sentences and like bad sentences, and I'll talk you through how you would fix that. So, okay. So provide. Yeah. Okay. Let's do it. Okay. Let's get it to give me some bad English sentences. Provide 10 English let's say sentences. Actually, okay, write a bad academic English paragraph. Do not say what is wrong with it. Let's see if we can spot it. Okay, so the text. So this is a bad English paragraph. It's already bad because it says in the modern society today. This is very bad. So generally you wouldn't say in the modern society. That would be a terrible thing to write because it's very general. Like we don't know when was modern society. People using technology very much, and it is changing everything around them in many different ways. Many is general. General language, never use general language. Okay. Which can be both good and also bad. This is very general language and it's not stating a clear position. Okay. The internet is a big thing. There's lots of people use it every day for many things like work and school, family, because people's lives are more easy. It's also stressful. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's correct it. Okay. So, topic sentence. Okay. Tell me if I miss any of the mistakes. Okay. So the topic sentence should not say in the modern society. Okay. And should not be so general. Okay. Moreover, the topic sentence should hold a position. And yeah, and not say good and also bad. Okay. Now then, describing the internet as a big thing is not academic. And you should not say lots of people use it every day, because that's not very academic. Lots of use it every day for many things like work, school, and also communication with friends and family, and listing all the details for it. Yeah, so okay, listing all of the relevant details for the internet is also not useful. Okay. Many researchers said, who are the many researchers? Okay. Now then, the paragraph does not cite who the many researchers are. Who said that technology? Oh, said that technology can make people smarter. Okay. Okay. Also, the language is not academic. Not academic. Okay. Now some of this some of the and it's academic. And it consistently changes sentences from a positive to a negative perspective. Okay. So it depends how you look at it, and it's okay. It should not use second person pronouns. Yeah, fair. Okay. Moreover, okay. Okay. Additionally, the structure is incoherent. Okay, let me read this out so you know what I'm talking about. I can't spell structure. I missed a T. Tell me if I miss any of the mistakes. So, topic sentence should not say in the modern society today. It should not be so general. Moreover, the topic sentence should hold a position, not say good or also bad, because that's not helpful. And should not say not lots of people. Listing all of the irrelevant details for the internet is also not useful. The paragraph does not cite who the many researchers are who have said that technology can make people smarter. Also, the language is not academic and it consistently changes sentences from a positive to a negative perspective. It should not use second person pronouns. Additional structure is incorrect. I think they'll definitely have extra things to say, but I mean, there's a lot to pick out on this one. A lot. Okay. Oh, that's all right. Thank you. I identified nearly all of the things, so that means okay, I can teach, I guess. Well, I've had practice teaching would be the key detail. Okay, so the paragraph has several grammar agreement issues. Yep, people's lives are more okay. Yes, and it lacks clear cohesion. The verb tenses and levels of formality shift unpredictably, which weakens consistency, which it does. And the paragraph makes unsupported claims without evidence. I think that's what I didn't talk about. Ends without a concluding sentence and ties back to the main idea. Yeah, that's. I mean, I crapped on it, but I didn't talk about why. Okay. All right, so that's fair. Yes, it's a corrected version. I want to see a corrected version. Let's see if we can make a corrected version. Maybe. All right. What's she saying? Cool. So let's have a read of what this could read, be a little bit better. So technology has become a central feature of contemporary life, correct? So shaping how individuals work, yes. Study and communicate across the globe. Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. In particular, digital tools such as smartphones, learning platforms, and messaging applications have transformed everyday practices by increasing the speed and convenience of information exchange. Although these developments raise concerns about overuse and distraction, many studies indicate that technology, when used purposefully, can support productivity, collaboration, and access to knowledge with professional and educational contexts. That was not bad. Okay. So, see how this was actually shorter than the other one. Maybe it wasn't, but it says so much more, and that's the key detail here. Is it wants to, it says a lot. So that's cool. Okay. All right, now bloody ring my client, and I want to finish working on my other little job because What was it? Yeah, so we're still there. I want to fix the thing. Now, I don't know. Is the high distinction essay squad a good name for a title? Okay. Let's make a new one. Let's ask what it thinks. Okay. Is got a good group name for a school group? Because yeah, I came up with that while I was just walking like towards my vehicle when I was going home today, and because I feel like this is, if I think about academic writing, like that's what I love doing. Like it's yeah, it's so much fun when I was in my university when I'm writing essays. Okay. Yes. We do, yeah. So if you don't, yeah, see what I mean? Like 85 to 100, and yeah, I remember how upset I was. I was like, "What do you mean it's only 86?" Because the thing is, like, it's we've got that 100 is the point of like, yes, that's perfect, you know, because you can't get a grade above that. Which is, it's you know, I kind of like it's aspirational, and it's good to aspire to doing things well. I really do think that's important. Oh, advice for school. Clarity, I can first say. Okay, so all right, so AI thinks that I've got a good name. Okay. I mean, I thought it was good. I wonder. Oh, yeah, so essays, general English, or HC text. Good point. Good point. Okay. Oh, that's a good one. Good point. All right, so AI is useful. It does give ideas. So look, the thing is, like, people are always asking me, like, you know, can I use AI and why should I not use it? This is kind of how it goes. Like you can use it to quality check your ideas and just go, all right, what am I thinking? Why am I thinking that? What is, you know, where's my thought process? Because yeah, ultimately you want to create your own ideas, but then this was actually a really, really good point. You know, sometimes I might want to do essay. I mean, a lot of the times I want to do essays because I love writing, but also, yeah, English language is probably the key thing that I like exploring, and it's got a lot more scope, you know. So you know, I can talk about language and history. I can talk about language and grammar. Oh Jesus, there's so much language stuff we can talk about, which is pretty fun. High distinction writing labs. I would go with English Squad. I feel like English Squad is the way I would do it. Okay, so that's pretty good. Pretty good. Well, thank you for your assistance in naming my thing. It's pretty helpful. Let me think. I still got a couple of minutes. Still don't have any friends. I'm here teaching myself. Okay, maybe next time I'll have someone who can ask me some questions. That'd be good. I like answering questions. Although, yeah, because I mean, yeah, it's like, what are some of the problems? Like, yeah. So let's have a think. Okay. Okay. What problem will potential members be facing? Let's find out. Because I don't know. And look, you tell me if this thing says it inaccurately, like tell me. Okay. So they're members are thinking that academic writing is good enough but strong, not clear enough to get the best marks, and they might not have English as a first language. We get that. Difficulty turning ideas into clear focus synthesis. Yes. Yes. This one I could definitely see. So weak academic tone will be, and even all three of these is probably what people have an issue with. Not to mention grammar. Because, like that guy was saying, like with grammar, you want to pick it up quickly. It's not something you want to just put to the back and leave your grammar to be bad for a long time, because that's going to hurt your writing and it won't let you improve a lot. So I think it's quite an important thing to get onto. And I think that this one's a very, very important one. So building vocabulary. So, I mean, what I would say, language learners, a lot of the times they don't want to try improving their vocabulary. That's why they'll always go for translations or, like just looking for words instead of trying to figure out what they could put, because it is such a limiting thing, because the word in your language. But if you ask that to someone who like a friend, you say, hey, this word in my language, how do I say this in that other language? Like that can be very, very valuable. Mega valuable. And then, maybe people who don't know how to use linking words. Yes. All right. So there's some really, look, I feel like this is 100% what issues people have. This not understanding what markers want. This one's a really simple one to fix. There is the marking criteria. What you have to do is look to the marking criteria and consider how you can turn your work into something that answers the marking criteria. Pretty simple when you think about it. And then, actually, this one's an interesting one, because a lot of students get frustrated when they feel like they're getting vague feedback on their essays and not knowing what to put in. Like sometimes, the teacher won't think they're being vague, but the students doesn't quite know what they're meaning or what they need to do. So if you're ever stuck on something, just ask the question. Like say, can you tell me what I should put in here? So if you ask them for the help, then they'll tell you what to put in. Okay, it's pretty good. So, still got a couple of minutes. Still got a couple of minutes. Let me think. What else can I? Let me have a look. What else can I check? Not there. Let's have a look. See, we could. Yeah, academic study. Yes. Yeah, I think we've kind of covered everything. Okay. So to recap, we did look at what we would have for like essay structure and paragraph organization. I didn't really look at thesis statements, because that one you really need people in here to discuss. And we looked at grammar, vocabulary, academic style, and we learned a few academic phrases and linking words, which was important. And then we didn't have the questions. Okay, so and we learned structure, coherence, cohesion, and academic writing mistakes. We did that. Yeah, okay, so I feel like we covered basically everything that we needed to be covering. So, hopefully that helped. And let me know if there's something that you wanted mentioned. Like, ask a question, even if you're just in the comments and you see this, like, ask me anything. Literally, ask me anything. I will do my darndest to answer it. And if I don't know the answer, I'm going to look it up and find out what the answer is. Okay. So I guess with that in mind, I suppose I'll see you guys soonish. Soonish we should talk. And I had fun figuring this stuff out, and even discovering stuff. So I really enjoyed actually doing the reaction video. So that was good. So maybe I will react to other classes and lessons and say, what do I think of that? Because that can help you learn as well, because then you go, oh, that's, you know, I need to learn this. I need this topic. You know, I've got to approach it. So let's see if it works. Okay. Guess I'll see you guys next time. So next time is tomorrow. I'm going to try and get consistent with my timings as per usual, but we'll get there. Okay. Catch you later.